am so looking forward to. My bank account is not. It did for Lover, not full for. In London, when I saw this, I was like, what? You know, it has meaning because, hey guys, I am back, and if you are new here, thank you so much for coming. I'm Erica. It's great to meet you. I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift and celebrities, and if you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I know it's been a long time, but we are here. Maybe to stay this time? Not sure. So anyways, oh my gosh, my bed is a disaster. Like, look at this. Is it clear over here? Yes. Okay. So anyways, I am finally back, and I just got back yesterday at like 3 a.m. from a 8-day cruise to the Caribbean, and it was the best week of my entire life. I'm just excited today to talk all about the big thing in the news right now, which is the Tortured Poets Department. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Tortured Poets Department is absolutely mind-blowing, so exciting. She announced this at the Grammys. I literally came home from work and watched the Grammys, and I thought it was going to be the end of the show, so I was like, I have a while to go, but she announced it after she won Album of the Year for Midnights, and quite honestly, oh my god. It is absolutely incredible. I am so excited about everything. At this point, we know so much. My reaction video is kind of late, so we actually know like a ton of stuff. We have the 4 different variants that she announced at the Eras Tour, and like, oh my god, it's so exciting. I do not know what to say. So first off, I just want to start with like the title. The Tortured Poets Department is her longest title she has ever had. It is different than the rest because honestly, all of her other titles, the longest one we have is Speak Now, and, you know, like, everything else is Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, Lover, like, everything like that. Taylor Swift and Speak Now were her 2 longest ones, which is absolutely crazy. Now we have the Tortured Poets Department, and that's so crazy, and I'm so excited for it to come out. I feel like the Tortured Poets Department is about how she has, like, she's the tortured poets, and she runs this whole department with all her friends, you know, like, either the girls, like, all her daughters, Sabrina and Olivia and Gracie and, you know, all those girls. Or if it is more like the guys, Jack Antonoff, Aaron Dessner, all the guys that work with her, it could be that as well. And I feel like the title has a lot to do with, in an interview back a few years ago, Joe Alwyn said that he was in a group chat with a couple of his friends called the Tortured Man's Club. Is this a coincidence? I think not. So I say that Taylor absolutely, this album is going to be about him. I feel like they were dating for 6 years, they broke up. This entire album is going to be about the heartbreak and like the lost love they had. And oh my god, there's nothing I love more than a breakup album. God, this is like gonna hit me at my core, and I'm so excited about that. It has so much significance that like the Tortured Poets Department, it's her longest album, it's gonna be a breakup album. It already is saying that it's like tortured in the album name, and I think it is so strong. So I think we are in for a rough one, but I think it might be her best album ever, and I'm just absolutely just dying to hear it. And then I want to talk about the date. So April 19th is, I was like, oh, okay, like it's a couple months out from when the Grammys came on. I feel like it's a perfect date, but then you think about it, and it's not just a random date. Taylor doesn't just come up with a random calendar date and is like, perfect, no. Taylor plans things, and what was April 19th? That was the day that the American Revolution, that America declared independence from Great Britain. And who is British? Who's the London boy is Joe, and she declares her independence. I think that was, like, April 19th symbolizes so much. I think that's a crazy day. That is when, you know, it's coming out. That day definitely has a lot to do with him, and I think she's planned all of this out, like, perfectly, you know? Next, I think we need to go through the 4 different variants. So she has 4 variants for this album. First, she has, oh my god, I made all these notes, and, oh, okay. So first she has the manuscript variant. That one is, like, the first one. That is, like, I looked up the meaning. It's written by hand, not typed, and something of the authors that has not been published yet. That is her. The manuscript, I feel like, is a note that maybe, like, in her diary pages she's writing, and she's not, like, it's not typed out. It's more, like, from the heart. It's personal. This is, like, it's not been published yet, so this is the manuscript of the Love maybe this is like the secret, like things that we have not heard yet. This is like, it's all coming out. And then the next one is the albatross. That is a bird. When I looked it up, it's a bird, or like more symbolically, it's a source of frustration or guilt. And it could also be like in a marriage. So like the albatross is like something that you're guilty for. I feel like she feels guilty for like things she did in this relationship, maybe ending it and then maybe feeling this bad about it, you know? So I think it is like frustration maybe in the relationship, it wasn't getting better, and then she feels guilty for things, past things, you know? Then the next one is the bolter. The bolter is like, when you look that up, it's like someone who runs away, like they bolt, they're gone. And I feel like that's her or him, I'm not sure. Maybe one of them ran away from the relationship and that's why it made it so much harder, they bolted. And then next up is the black dog. This one was the last one to get announced. And the black dog, who had a black dog? Clara Bow had a black dog, and are we in awe or not? Yeah, that's what I thought. So she had a black dog, and I feel like what does the symbolization of a black dog mean? Okay, so I looked it up. A black dog symbolizes like fear, depression, you know, and conflict. So I think the black dog was like the symbol of their relationship. It was a conflicted relationship, and she has like fear and depression and anxiety and, you know, all that stuff from it now. So those are the 4 variants. There are also the 4 covers, which I am obsessed with all of them. I feel like they all tie in perfectly to each other and to the vibes of the album. So when she first announced this, I was like, wait, is it going to be a black album like Reputation? Because that messes up like the 10 different colors, you know, like when we put little hearts and stars. But I feel like now it is a white album, and that's why I'm wearing my white 1989 Taylor sweatshirt, because I don't own that many white clothes. And that will have to change with the release of this album. I also feel like the vibes of the album are like pen on like the quill on paper, you know, and like folklorish vibes, but more like a Gracie Abrams tied into this, you know? Like black and whites. We're going like Good Riddance vibes. We're thinking like of where it's very like artsy and woodsy, and but also like, I don't know, like black 1980s black and white stuff, and but not like Reputation where it's like fierce, but more like it's like soft and it's, you know, sensual and comfortable, and it's like writing in your diary at night when it's like the lights are all out and you're sitting there writing your diary, and it's like handwritten notes, and I feel like that's the vibes of this album, and I absolutely love that. And think about the merch I was wearing for this. I need like a journal, and with like, imagine like a journal that's like embroidered on the front. It says like all's fair in love and poetry, and then like speaking of that, all's fair in love and poetry, I feel like she is like all's fair, like she can tell her story then. All's fair in love and poetry. So I feel like she never told her story before, and now she's like outing him for the bad things he did, the bad things she did, how the relationship really ended, and what really happened. And that's all coming out in this album, I feel. So anyway, back to merch ideas. I feel like she have a lot of like white and black stuff, a lot of things that's like the paper. I feel like she's gonna have like a sweatshirt that's like written on the back, like handwritten, you know, all's fair in love and poetry, maybe like the Torture Poets Department, song titles, you know, all that stuff. And I am so looking forward to it. My bank account is not, and it will be gone. So like, it's crazy. But now I want to jump into each song and what they really mean. And these are like my best, like, I've always been someone I like to analyze things, and I analyze this. Like, oh my god, I had to make notes because I cannot remember all this. So I started out with the first song, Fortnite. When I first saw it, I was like the game? What? I was like, that's weird for Taylor. And featuring Post Malone, I never saw this coming. I never even thought about them collabing together. It just doesn't make sense. But I think it definitely will. I think this song is, like, I didn't know what a fortnight meant, but once I looked it up, I realized that it is a 2-week period. Like, maybe if it's like a vacation or a holiday, and that means 14 nights. So I think this definitely has to do with like a 2-week period. Maybe that's when they ended, or like maybe that was the problem. Like they took a 2-week vacation that ended things. So Fortnite is the starting track of this, or maybe like it's how they started. I don't know. Maybe like the breaking point. It was 2 weeks, a 2-week vacation or something, and then it like went downhill from there. That's the first song, and honestly, I think it's gonna be incredible. I think it's gonna start the album out perfectly. I feel like every album needs a song to like start it to like keep going, and I think this song will start it perfectly, like just by the vibes of it, you know? Then the next one is the Torture Poets Department, and guess what, guys? We're getting another lead, like not a lead single, but like the title of the album. And we don't get that with every album. We did for Lover, not Folklore, like not 1989, not Midnights. We got one for Lover and Speak Now and Red and Fearless and Evermore. And there's so many, but we have not recently got one from Midnight, so I'm excited for this. Like it's the same name as the album, and it's a long title, and it's explicit on Apple Music. Like the Tortured Poets Department, I feel like it's gonna be a good song that ties in the whole album, and just like kind of slow and mellow is what I'm feeling for the vibes. Next up, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Like, that's crazy. I feel like this is about like how Joe only breaks like the hearts that are the most meaningful to him. Like if it's just like a little fling, it's like whatever. But if she actually meant something to him and they were a great relationship, so I feel like he only breaks his favorite toys, and that is like making her feel a little bit better about the breakup. Is like, well, if he didn't care about me so much, like he wouldn't have hurt me like that, you know? And like about, yeah, reassuring her that their love was real, and that's why it hurt so much that it is now over and that it's sad. And then the next one, Down Bad. This one means like feeling desperate. I was like, wait, what does that mean? Like I had to look it up to like for some clarity on it. And it feels like of what it popped up on Google said it is like feeling, you know, desperate in a romance or romantic connection with someone. Like you're down bad for them. You're down bad for that guy. Like, you know, that idea. And then I think like she was desperate to stay together maybe for a period of time. And I think we don't know the whole story. I feel like we are going to get that through this album. That makes me like super happy. And like I think she was down bad in the situation, and she was desperate for him, thinking that she needed him, and then realized that she could go off on her own maybe is like maybe the vibes I'm getting. I feel like Taylor is too strong for that though, but she is just human. So maybe it definitely could be that. And then track 5, So Long London. When I saw this, I was like, what? We are getting another track 5. So when you think about like track 5 so far, we have Cold As You, White Horse, All You Had to Do Was Stay, Dear John, like, we have You're On Your Own Kid, Tolerate It, My Tears Ricochet, All Too Well, like, So Long London. Joe's from London, she has London Boy, and then she has So Long London, and that is devastating, and this song is going to completely shatter me, and I cannot wait. So long is not saying goodbye. I feel like it's just like so long, like until I see you again, maybe. It's like a mysterious goodbye, kind of. Like she's saying so long to Joe instead of like goodbye Joe, get out of my life. Instead it's like so long, like I guess bye. And that's horribly sad. And then the next one, But Daddy I Love Him. This gives you, like, right when I saw this, I thought of Harry Styles wearing the red But Daddy I Love Him shirt, and I was like, oh my god, this has to do with Harry Styles, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does, though. I feel like people are looking back at the Little Mermaid for this, because she dressed up as Little Mermaid one year, and that was in 2018, and then he never came to the party. Wait, was that actually in 2018, and, like, going into the new year? Maybe. And then he never came to the party, so I feel like maybe she was defending him to, like, her dad, like, but Daddy, I love him. And then the parents are like, no, don't, like, he didn't show up to your party, and, like, no. And she's like, I feel like everything has a parallel when it comes to Taylor Swift. Like, things don't just, like, pop out and mean nothing. I feel like everything she does means something. And then Fresh Out the Slammer. This one is, like, sounds hardcore for her. This sounds like an Olivia Rodrigo song, honestly. Like, it's crazy. Maybe, like, right when they broke up, I feel like she was, like, right fresh out of the breakup. Maybe she started the Eras Tour then. I mean, she started the Eras Tour on March 15th, so we didn't hear about the breakup till, like, a little bit later. So I think, like, maybe was she fresh out the Slammer and, like, fresh out, like, psh. And I feel like maybe she was heartbroken and numb from the breakup. Even though Peel said that there was a difference, like, when you could see her perform, she seemed more, like, emotional after. But, I don't know, I feel like the breakup didn't happen right before we found out. I feel like it was a little bit before that. And, like, when I looked up, it said the slammer can be, like, a jail, and the slam of the door, like, the shock of the breakup, maybe she was, like, shocked, and was, like, went right into the Eras Tour with being shocked as a big breakup entered her life. Or maybe, like, it was fresh out the slammer, like, when she was doing something, you know, like, coming out with a new album, Midnights or something, and then that she was fresh out of the breakup. I feel like that's what this has to do with. And then next up is Florida with 3 exclamation marks, and this is featuring Florence and the Machines, which they are they are a British indie rock band. He's also British. I don't know. I feel like that has to do with it, something. And like I never saw that she would collaborate with them. She's collaborating with such random people this time. It's definitely out of her like comfort zone, like out of what she usually does, and I'd love to see it for her. And this one, breakup rumors came out. Oh, here we go. I got my date. On April 10th, and this was her first city was in Tampa, Florida after the breakup rumors came out. So I feel like Florida, you know, it has meaning because that was the day that we all saw her. I was like, they were broken up. Like, is she okay? You know? And I think, like, this band formed in London, and, like, he was born in London. I feel like it has to do something with it. And how many there are 3 exclamation marks, and she played 3 nights in Tampa, Florida. Coincidence? No. Next song, we have Guilty as Sin. I feel like this one is, she feels guilty for what happened or what they did, or maybe she feels guilty for being this upset when maybe it was her fault it ended, but it was for a good reason, you know? I feel like that's an issue a lot of the times when people feel like they can't be sad because, like, they ended it. And they very well can be. And, like, you know. But, I feel like, or maybe he could be the guilty one, like, I just think Guilty as Sin. It just is, it's sad. It's gonna be a sad album. Oh my god. And then next song is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. This one, I feel like could be humbled on, like, or it could be, like, self-deprecatory, like, and she sees herself as the bad guy, and she's like, I'm the bad one in this relationship, like, who's afraid of little old me? And maybe, like, that she's just too, like, tender to have her heart broken like this. I don't know. This one, like, I don't know, it's just rough. And then I Can Fix Him. No, really, I can. This one, I saw this one was like, but I am my father's daughter, so maybe I can fix him. I wanna get him back. This gave me Olivia Rodrigo parallels, and I was like, it just is so funny. Oh, she has all these parallels. And then I feel like maybe he was lying and, like, he had low self-esteem, so she thought she could fix him and was like, I can fix you, but, like, maybe she really thought she could, like, oh, I really can, and cheered herself on for years, and then finally realized that she could not fix him. That is sad, and maybe that's why it ended. And then LOML, I feel like we're all thinking this is a love of my life, but what if it's not? What if it's like, oh my god, like, what if it's like love of my lies, or like lies of my love? Like, it could mean many different things. I feel like love of my life maybe it could be, but it's all lowercase. It's the only one that is all lowercase on the album, and that mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's maybe like he's the love of my life, but it doesn't matter, and that's why it's lowercase and just like in the middle of all the other tracks, because he just, like, people are like, oh, well, you know, like, it's a breakup album, but then that one's like the love song maybe, like, oh, he's the love of my life, but it doesn't matter because it's over now, you know, like that idea. And then next up is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I feel like maybe this is about the Eras Tour. She can do the Eras Tour with a broken heart. She's making it through, you know, all that idea, all those parallels, that she's making it through the Eras Tour as, like, while being broken, and she can do anything with a broken heart. Everyone's just like, you know, like, just keep going, and no one cares about her emotions, some people. So I feel like maybe she just is like, I can do it with a broken heart. It's fine. I'll get over it. And then The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I think this means, like, that he needs to have a smaller place in her life, so he can just be like to her, he just needs to be the smallest man who ever lived, because she needs to forget about him and just, like, let it go, and she's having a hard time doing that. And I feel like maybe that he ended the relationship horribly, or, like, he needs, like, it right, and he needs to, like, he just is the smallest man and just left, you know? And then, The Alchemy is, I feel like, I looked it up and it said, like, chemistry or magic. Like, I've never even, like, heard that word. I was like, what is that? And then, when you're transferring a product into another, or, like, a process of transformation. So, I feel like The Alchemy, like, this is towards the end. She's, like, going into, like, her new, like, single self, you know? Like, that idea. And she is transforming to be okay and learn to live, like, outside of the relationship and just, like, live with herself. And then the next one, Clara Bow. So this one is, so she was one of the first, like, really big movie stars back, like, years and years and years ago. And she paved the way for others. And maybe I feel like Taylor is saying that she, like, since she made it through, it's the final song of the regular album before the deluxe editions. Like, it symbolizes, like, a dear reader, like, a good ending track, like, Clara Bow made it through, so I can make it too. And, like, she had a hard time. This is how I'm feeling. I feel like she's comparing herself to her, so she doesn't feel as alone and as lonely. Breakup It's like, this is a signal for us that maybe she needs more love and she needs more support. And I think, like, wow, I just went through all the tracks and I'm feeling inspired and I'm so excited for this album to come out. She, like, has so many things. I don't think a lead single is going to come out before. I think after it does come out, I think there's going to be, like, maybe, like, 2 with a music video, 3 maybe. And then those are going to be, like, the lead singles. I don't know if any of these songs are going to be, like, radio singles, which kind of excites me. I feel like it's going to be, like, an album where they're all just so good and so strong that none of them, like, are, like, a hit bop, like a shake it off, you know? And I think they're all just going to be, like, so good. And this is going to, like, tear me apart. And also, I don't think she's going to put any Eras Tour. I know it's kind of like a controversial thing going around, but I feel like the Eras Tour is upbeat and fun and, you know, go through all the eras. And then this is just too, like, heartbreaking that she'll do it as, like, the acoustic set. But I feel like it doesn't need a place in the actual Eras Tour. It will stand on its own. And with that, I guess that concludes the end of this video. Thank you guys for coming. I had a great time talking about all these songs. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, and now I'm about to be late. So I gotta go. And I will see you all next time. Don't forget to subscribe down below, like this video, and comment down what you want my next videos to be. And head over to my Instagram, follow me for more updates. I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hey guys. Oh my god. I've tried to make this video literally like 10 times. This time? Not sure. So anyway, oh my god, it's so exciting. I do